Aboriginal, now that's a very good question. Aboriginal Affairs, now is the new name of the department. It used to be Department of Indian and Northern Affairs, and now it's Aboriginal Affairs Canada, I think. Its budget has gone down somewhat, but I think the whole budget needs to be rationalized. There's billions of dollars that essentially go to the bureaucracy that drives people in First Nations crazy with all their, I mean, this is, drives me a bit around the bend around the Attawapiskat audit issue, because there isn't a thing that First Nations can spend their money on that they haven't gotten a sign-off from the bureaucrats in Ottawa that both gives them the check and approves specific funding for specific things. So it's always struck me in working with First Nations, and I worked as a consultant once with a First Nation in Quebec. I was working with them as a contractor for about a year and a half on a sustainable development effort on the forests in their territory. It was an agreement between Quebec and the federal government and this First Nation, the Algonquin Barrier Lake. And that was a real eye-opener for me, for how many bureaucrats were involved, how much money was wasted on non-Aboriginal employees and contractors, myself included, lawyers, negotiators, consultants. It's a huge amount of money that doesn't get to First Nations communities. And the key thing, of course, is respecting treaty rights and self-determination and a nation-to-nation relationship between, which goes back to the Royal Commission on Aboriginal Affairs of 1996. We went back and dusted that off and looked at its recommendations and reinstated the Kelowna Accord. We'd be, I think we would be in a substantially more respectful, grounded, and I think healthier place in terms of also the health of water supplies, education, housing, and so on.